All right, everybody. Welcome to the Tree of Life Sanctuary Summer Solstice Gathering. And we have all of you here, and I know we've got Paula will be jumping in here pretty soon. We also have 3 people joining us online today, virtually. And we are so delighted to be able to have every time we have this gathering, we upgrade our hybrid experience. And we now are able to do this, to be able to have not only the physical in-person fun, but we can have our virtual people coming.
She went on. No, she went on.
And I'd like to start off with just welcoming everybody and saying, wow, look at this, we're in this new space. Look at and it's not done yet. I mean, we still got a lot of wow to create. But look at what has been accomplished. Isn't this amazing? This is so magical, absolutely magical. And we're going to talk more details about all that. But I'd first like to introduce everybody. And I'm going to start with our online participants. We have Ruth Hammondtree with us. And Ruth, if you want to just wave your hand.
Hi,
Hi, Jan.
And Ruth, are you willing to share what city you live in?
Sure, not a problem. Carmichael, California.
Carmichael, California. Thank you for joining us, my dear.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. And Cynthia Ringhausen, she's been at our events before virtually. Cynthia, you want to share where you live?
You're muted.
You might have to unmute yourselves.
That's okay. I think that pops up. There we go.
Yes, I'm living here in West Valley City, Utah,
which is near
Salt Lake City. It's in the Salt Lake City metropolitan area.
It's a suburb area, Salt Lake City.
Well, no, actually, West Valley City is the second largest city in Utah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
It's an incorporated separate city, but it's right next to, it's like, 3 miles away from Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Mormon influence going on here, right? And then our third virtual guest is Michael Newman. And Michael lives, I know, in Canada, in BC, right, Michael?
Thank you, Laura, for bringing all of us virtual attendees into the room as well. I appreciate that. Yes, yeah. Surrey, BC, though I work out of Bellingham, so go back and forth, and that's how Laura and I met, is down in the Bakerview Square.
Down there in the business suites. Yes. And Michael is also, and this is all an example of the magic. Once we got here, settled, Tree of Life Sanctuary got settled in the Bakerview Square, not only were Jesse and I graduates of IPEC coaching program, but Michael is also.
Oh, really?
And then another one of our volunteers, Tristan Jorgensen, is also a graduate of IPEC coach training. And so it's like.
Such a coincidence.
No. So it's fun, to meet up. When I have to just share a quick short story. When Jesse and I first met back in 2015, 15, not only did we discover that we both graduated from IPEC, I know this is just like, cliquey kind of stuff, but it's fun, And the other thing we found out is that we had the same birthday.
Yeah. Oh, how funny.
It was like, oh my God, boom, boom. And I just can't get over how young he looks for being the same age I am. Joking. So anyway, thank you to all of you for being here. And this is an important dream of mine, to be able to integrate people into these gatherings that don't have the ability to be here physically, because there's a ton of people, in particular in this country and north and south of the US, that really want to have this kind of uh, experience available to them. And so this is a way that we can make that happen. So it's part of us doing our work, fulfilling our mission. Okay, yeah, Jesse.
Going forward, would you mind moving that way a bit with the podium? Just the way that the camera works, it's like that's a lot better.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of white
Good.
space that you didn't.
So before I was kind of looking sideways.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay,
You're perfect.
great. So Jesse is our tech monitor, along with a lot of other things for the Tree of Life Sanctuary. And so if any of you out there in the virtual connection need any assistance, they can connect with you in
Yes,
chat.
definitely.
Okay,
I'll be here.
great. And we will, he'll let me know if any of you have any questions or comments that you would like to express. So he is your helper. Well, I also want to give everybody here in the room an opportunity to just introduce yourself and what your role is with Tree of Life Sanctuary. And if you don't have a role, what is it you want to get out of today? So who would like to go first? Marcia.
Yeah, I'm Marcia. I am the Secrets Library project manager, among other things, chief of bottle watcher, that kind of stuff.
And that's it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. She's going to talk.
I'm going to talk later, so
Yeah.
I don't want to bore them yet.
Gotcha.
I'll leave that for later.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, who's next?
So I'm Paula, and I'm the volunteer program manager and also the event manager. So I just kind of help our volunteers pull all this together.
Yeah.
And I'm Connie, and I'm interested in finding out more about what the Tree of Life Sanctuary is all about.
Good. Cool. Good. We're glad you're curious.
Yeah, I'm John, and I'm a huge supporter of Tree of Life Sanctuary because it really is the most important thing in my life. And I intend to do big things as soon as we open the doors,
Yes.
because I'm big.
No joke.
No joke.
No joke.
Thanks, Laura.
Sure. I also have to mention John's on our board. He's a director. I forget the exact phrase. Advisor. Yes. John is on the board.
You're a glutton for punishment.
I know. But we can handle it. Jan, did you want to go?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to look.
It's going to look at you wherever you're talking.
Hi.
Yeah, that's what our camera's called.
Jan Spencer, founding mother or something of the Tree of Life Sanctuary, and high interest in classes online, but currently am very happy being the transitioning librarian until we have our library manager hired.
And Jan is also the secretary on the board.
Oh, secretary on the board, transcriptor, and
yeah,
give you rides if you're drunk.
Oh, God. Yeah. Lynn?
Well, my name's Lynn Brisden, and I do a couple of different things with Tree of Life. One is lead the group coaching program, Your Path, Your Spiritual Satisfaction, and currently supporting the team on business planning for this scale up of the Tree of Life Life Sanctuary into the Seekers Library.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. And Lynn is a longtime certified life coach and spiritually oriented life coaching and business coaching.
Correct.
And
but not iPad trained.
No, but
I'm the anomaly.
You're not a part of the club.
joking.
Lynn is a great coach and a great leader of the program, the Your Path to Spiritual Satisfaction. Both Jen and I went through it together. Jen's done it a few times. So
Yeah.
I'm Jesse, and I do most of the tech stuff here. I'm also a coach. I focus mostly on business. Yeah. What else do I do? Social media. Yes.
Digital community
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. So, I'd like to just start off with just getting things going, flowing, thinking about why we do this quarterly at the seasonal changes. Now, many of you have heard this before, so I hope it's still just kind of like a good refresher and not like boring. But it's really important for us to be having some kind of offering for people to help them remain anchored in remembering to remember who we are and what our life purpose is as individuals. And, a lot of people make tons of progress out there on their own and have good friends and might have some really great kindred spirit type of connections, and even with groups and lots of different forms. I mean, churches fulfill that role. Um, uh, you know, Toastmasters can even fulfill that kind of thing. Tree of Life Sanctuary wants to be its unique self in fulfilling that kind of purpose. So we talk about the season, each season that we're going through, so that we can be aligned with the energy of that season. Because the more aligned we are with the energy of the season that we're in, the better things go. The more things make sense to us. And so it's a great time of year to just take a pause and meet with kindred spirits and reflect on, what is this season about? And how does it relate to me and what I'm here for, what I'm doing? Now, every spring, I don't know if you can see over here, but those of you online, but right in over here to my right is our blossoming vision bough. And that is a creation that the Tree of Life Sanctuary community creates every spring equinox to collect everybody's individual vision for the year, the coming year, by the winter solstice. And you can see that pretty much everything that's on there is a piece of paper, because that's the easiest way for most people to put it, like a vision board. Past Emma, who one year brought in a hyacinth bulb, just wrapped in a silk. The bulb was in a silk bag, and the hyacinth was blooming. And so that we attached to the bough, because that reflected symbolically where she wanted to end up by the winter solstice. So as long as it's something that's non-toxic, because we burn it at the winter solstice, the whole wreath, to release the energy back to source or God or whatever you want to call that, the universe. And so at the noontime every day, Pacific time, we do it's not required, but it's offered those that are inclined to join in. We do a noontime meditation wherever each of us happens to be, sending energy to this bough with everybody's vision on it. And it helps everybody in their efforts and their work that year. So this is an example of how we can be supportive of each other not only in person, but also energetically. And the creation of something to put on there is a reflection of our connection with the divine within ourselves. So that's what you see here. And that document taped up to the wall, that's the nude meditation. If you're interested, it's in the packet of papers I gave you. If you can check that out. So that's the essence of why we do this. Any questions or comments? Okay. All right. So let's talk about summer. Summer. It happened at 7:42 last night, Pacific time. Did anybody feel it? Oh, you think of something else?
I was acknowledging it.
Oh, you were acknowledging it?
I was with really lovely people that I love.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was putting my children to sleep.
Not forever, just for the night, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a John joke. So in the attachments to the email that I sent out to all of you virtually and in person here, there is a document called Messages of the Earth Seasons. And it is just a cool chart of each season with a bunch of different aspects of how each season relates to life on Earth from a spiritual perspective. Now, you can this table, this chart, is totally, redefinable. This is just where a good starting point. In fact, on the bottom row, it says your insights. So I encourage people when they are looking at this to see what is right for you in here and change what might be different. Okay. And so we start with spring, the first column, and I'm not going to go into each item underneath there. I'll let you do that at your leisure. But that's when we create the blossoming vision vow, because that is when the energy of the season is about starting new, sprouting. The theme is about planting something new. And then summer, which is what we're here to discuss today, the energy of the summer season, and this is all northern hemisphere, okay? Southern hemisphere is switched around. The summer energy is about growing. Once we've planted our vision into our heart, into our mind, and then into our outer life, then summer is about, okay, let's make, we should have already seen some growth. The sprouts are up, maybe even flowered already. If not, what is it that needs to be done here? We got to get some heat on these visions. Let's get things moving. And then the fall, the season of fall is about release. It's about looking back and taking stock of what has been accomplished towards your vision for the year. And harvesting, what is it I was really going for? Did I get what I wanted to experience or change in my life? Did it happen in the way? And how do I feel now? Can I say I'm harvesting what I wanted to have happen by this time? And then at the winter solstice, we reabsorb everything from the year back into the core of who we are, that divine within. We allow it to go back to source, just like when we burn the physical form of the vision vow. That's releasing all of the energy that everybody put into their life vision back to source, so that it's there for anyone to use and for us to use again. And then going into winter in that reabsorption process, it's also the time where we start shining that flashlight inside of ourselves of where am I going next? With ideally with that divine guidance within each of us. So that's what the seasons can bring for us. So summer, talk to me about summer. And any of you who may have put something on the vision bell, do you see anything happening in your life right now that's a reflection of the energy and the vision that you've been holding for the year? Jan, yeah.
Well, I kind of relate to the adolescence because we're not a child anymore in our goal for this year. We are learning, how to fine tune some things because I was sort of vague in a couple of goals that I had. And that 13 to 30 is high energy, but still have a plan kind of thing. So that's what I relate to in the summer things, the adolescence time thing.
That's great.
Though if you had told me when I was 30, I was still in adolescence, I wouldn't have believed it.
And that age range thing is a good example of something that might be different for each of you. Some people are 70 and they're still in the adolescence, right?
Right, John?
And then there's, they always go for John. However,
he targets himself.
Yeah, he does. He likes it. On the age thing, though, keep in mind too that just because the seasons have like a category of ages, doesn't mean that at any time in any season we can be an elder, a wise elder, and at the same season be a 2-year-old. So that's all on a spectrum.
That's why it's this guide is really interesting because it's, as someone who likes linear, consistent things, it's hard to realize how much fluidity there is in the seasons. Like, yes, that is those are the characteristics of the season, but that doesn't mean that every part of your life has to align with those right now. And then, for instance, too, for me in my life, harvest season feels a lot more fast paced than summer, even though summer is producing at an intense pace. Things are growing a lot, but the fall season, I feel like, is where a lot of creatures, and you're creatures, right? Are like scurrying to make sure that we have everything prepared to go into the winter season. Yeah. So, it's a really interesting. I feel like every season can have a fast pace.
Yes.
And every season can have a slow pace depending on your specific life flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. John.
When we were young and in school in the Northern Hemisphere, when it got close to summer, there was a sense of freedom when we were not in school. Now, I know in centuries past, it meant we had to go work in the fields, but for many people in our culture now, it's a time when we play and have fun, and we just soak up the energy of the sunlight and the long days. And most of us will notice that we're not wearing heavy coats or sweaters or hats. We're not necessarily as insulated. We're a little bit more available. And whether or not we actually take that energy and find ourselves building towards creating a product or a service or an activity or a travel or whatever that is going to lead us somewhere so that we harvest in the fall or so that we find more of an endpoint to our projects, which might be coming later in the year. It's a time that is wonderful. There's an awful lot of energy, and it can also be confusing. And I say confusing just because sometimes we don't know what to do with our energy. And sometimes we feel like with these long days, we should be accomplishing so much. And we wind up kind of getting involved with too many things and not going where we're supposed to go. So I love summer because it was always a time for me to go into the mountains. I didn't have to deal with this much ice in the high country in the Sierra Nevada and California. And so it was a chance for me to be out in nature in a way that the rest of the year I wasn't as available. So I loved it, but I always had kind of mixed feelings about, was I really moving in the direction of accomplishing some of my projects?
Yeah. Excellent point. Yeah. Yep. And how do you move past that?
You get older, and then you just don't do as much. So if you do anything, like I showed up today and hung a sign. I feel like I've really done something.
That's it. Gotcha.
I've
Lynn.
been sitting here reflecting on my own energy levels as we transition from the spring into the summer, and just looking at in spring talks about quickening and in summer into growth, and I know for myself I've felt a lot of that energy of playfulness and wanting to do more and fulfilling that by getting out and going dancing and all those fun things.
Yeah. And I think some of those are on your vision.
They are. And last Sunday, I took a ride that I really like to do at least once every year.
On your Harley.
On my Harley. I mean, I'll take more rides, but over the North Cascades Mountain and back. It's from the Zama for lunch. So I fulfilled that big bottom chunk.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Mm-hmm. So summer. Yeah. Anything else anybody wants to share? Yeah, Paula.
So it's summer. For me, I'm always waiting for the weather to be warm enough. It has to be about 50 degrees at night for me to plant my tomato plants. Because I have a balcony in my apartment, so I have these pots and I plant my tomato plants and my green beans and I put up flowers. And the tomato plants, if you put them in when it's still cold at night, apparently it's not a good idea. So I'm always waiting for it to be 50 degrees at night, and then I can plant them.
Yeah.
And now they've already started to bloom.
Great.
I know.
There you go, creating the flowers.
Yeah. So
And then pretty soon you'll be harvesting those tomatoes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I think that's a great analogy too it's a great analogy of how different plants, some plants like early spring, some plants you can't really plant until early fall sometimes. It's even though these are the summers and the summer solstice energy is intense production and growth, not every plant follows even the seasonal guidelines.
Right.
And we're all kind of individual seeds.
A metaphor for humans.
Yes.
Yeah. We're all different kinds of plants. The one of the things that is so obvious to me with the summer solstice and the winter solstice is they are the extreme poles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're not the place of balance, which are the equinoxes. They are the poles, the stretch, and the farthest away from the center point of balance. And in humans, human personalities, I see that as extroverts and introverts.
Mm-hmm.
And we all are on the spectrum of how much we are in either way. However, whatever leaning we have the strongest leaning towards will have an influence on where we're going to grow the best, where we're going to be our best, in terms of who we hang out with and what we decide we want to go for and how to do it. So, good stuff.
Well,
Marcia.
I was going to say, as a winter child, because my birthday's in December, so for me, winter's the exciting season, and I can't wait for summer to end. It's like fall, come on, please, especially once we get past September, because September's just another month of summer. So, I'm just not crazy about the heat, it's just not my gig. And so, and I wasn't much of a beach, I mean, I lived in Southern California, but I didn't really go to the beach or do that kind of stuff, because I don't tan, I burn. And so, because I'm a winter person, I'm really very much into winter. So for me, that's when I do a lot of my celebrating.
Yeah.
And, you know, and really enjoy the season and really wrap myself in the chill and the cold and, you know, the bare trees and all of that. So, yeah.
Awesome. How about any of you virtually with us? Do any of you have anything you'd like to share or ask questions about in regards to the season of summer? No? If you do, just raise your hand or let Jessie know in the chat.
Do I have to unmute? I think once they've been unmuted once, they can unmute themselves, right?
Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourselves.
If you would like.
If you want to. All right. Well, if you think of anything you want to share, feel free anytime. So I just wanted to, before we take a break, I wanted to just talk a little bit more about some of the things that are in the handouts. The closely related document to the seasons, the messages of the earth seasons, is the seasons of inner life, the hermetic cycle of change. And it really is, this document explains the way a person can go through the seasons of themselves, or the seasons of change and growth internally inside themselves. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this today because I want to keep to our 2-hour timeline, but I can do a whole discussion just on this one concept. And that's the difference between these two. The seasons out there in the physical realm that we are in our physical bodies, the seasons are the outer expression of the spiritual information and wisdom. They say we can learn a lot from nature. Well, that's what it's talking about. The more we understand the seasons and nature and how growth happens and how death happens, and then take that outer information and focus it internally into ourselves, then we can look at go through changes, because change happens all the time, and the cycle of change is what life on earth is about as humans, and maybe even other creatures. These are the way the seasons look inside of us. So starting out, just a quick overview here. The first place of beginning is actually winter, which is the bottom left-hand corner. It's got the number 1 in a circle. And that is a period of hibernation where we can get in touch with what is our next vision. Where am I going next? Where am I supposed to, where's my calling sending me? And then the next season, with the number 2 right above it on the upper left, is associated with spring. And that's about establishing the planting of how are we going to, just for example, the Tree of Life Sanctuary. How is the Tree of Life Sanctuary, what steps is the Tree of Life Sanctuary going to be taking in the season of spring in order to fulfill the physical full opening of the Seeker's Library? So that's more about finding who, exactly what will the game look like, so to speak, the project. And then finding the right people to do it with. And then moving over into the number 3 quadrant, upper right, that's summer, and that's where we are right now. And that is about all the different ways of flowing with things coming to you that you've asked for. And sometimes what can happen in this inner summer is, yes, you're out there playing your game, you're out there living your life, your vision, your calling, but then something will show up that will surprise us. It's like, wow, that wasn't part of my creation, that wasn't part of my vision. And so when those things happen, for example, we lost one of our volunteers to cancer last year, or a few months ago, not last year. And so when those kinds of things happen in our life as a group or as individuals, what is it? We got to take that in and take it as more sacred information for ourselves as individuals. What is it? What was that about for us as an individual? And then also as a group. And the more we allow the natural space for that to unfold, the answer to unfold in ourselves, the more we will become blown away with how things happen, even though they're difficult, are exactly what's needed for our vision to continue in the direction we want it to continue in. So that is that a description of the inner change, the inner season. And then the fourth one, down in the bottom right, that's related to fall, and that's about that period of not only harvesting, reviewing, did everything come together the way that I really wanted? Did it come together even bigger than I wanted? Well, did I ask for something I really didn't want? It's a time of adjustment and reflecting what is no longer working for us, and maybe it's time to just toss it in and get open for something new, which we might not even have a clue what it is yet. And that is related to the fall. So that's just a quick overview of the inner and the outer forms of change and how we can make it easier on ourselves and also grow, become better human beings, and become more compassionate. And that is so important these days. Compassion is really, really important. The Dalai Lama calls it becoming a revolution of compassion. So, any questions, comments, sharings about summer? Anything else? Anybody online? Okay, so how about we take a break? And I'm pretty confident, because Jan was in charge of the raffle tickets, that everybody got a raffle ticket, right? And for those of you online, did you make one for them too?
No, but I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would you do that?
Sure.
And we'll let you guys know if you won something at the end today. John, you had something?
Yeah, I only got one raffle ticket.
Well,
I'm a little disappointed.
I was just going into that next point. Thank you. That, of course, with all raffles, if you want more chances, you can donate $1 or $2 and buy another few tickets. If you want, now, those of you who aren't here with us physically, just know that we have right behind the owl camera a table covered with some really beautiful, beautiful giveaways. They are a mixture of CDs, books, DVDs, even some VHS tapes, if you still have that kind of recorder or player, that are either duplicates from the library or are related to areas that are not aligned with the spiritual library. So one other thing that I want to mention that's over here is a surprise. It's not really a surprise. It's a surprise, though, wrapping of an item that is called an organite, if I remember correctly. And it is some of you may have seen them in the past. They were really popular about 5 years ago, and they are usually like just this little mold that a person will make in acrylic, and it's filled with gems and types of metal, and it's supposed to generate positive energy. And so I was gifted one of these from a friend of mine, and it has been well used. I cleared it and cleansed it, and so this is a potential item for you if you want it. And the way we do our raffles is we'll be doing the raffle towards the end today. You get to pick whatever you want off the table. Okay, so it's just a matter of waiting to see if your number's pulled, and that's really, it's just the order of how everybody wins, because everybody's going to get a prize today. It's a divine experience for sure. Okay, so before I go into the last part of our gathering today, I want to just check in with everybody. Does anybody have anything else that they want to share about our wisdom, or in the term of wisdom discussion? Anything that they feel that they might want support around today, or any kind of other, just sort of flash of insight that might have come to you during the break, online and in person.
My taste buds want more chocolate cookies.
Yeah. Oreos are in charge.
Oh God, no.
Oreos are in charge. Okay. All right. Well, we wanted to take some time today to update everybody on what the status is on the Seekers Library, and also give a sense of where things are heading in terms of our programs. And so we're going to have a few specific people come up here and talk a bit about their area of work. And for myself, I'll start. The main thing that I am holding space for and working, working that inner energy of the manifestation of the next soul to join this work, aka our library manager. We're right on the verge of putting the job description and solicitation for applicants in online within the next week. So this person is, first of all, I want to just talk a little bit about the linear left brain stuff. All of the description of the library manager's work, the job description, the requirements and all of that are already posted on the Tree of Life Sanctuary's website on the Seekers Library page. So if you know anybody that has library management experience, you can just send them to the Seekers Library page for the treeoflifesanctuary.org, and it gives all the information about that position. And then there's a little note there that says applications received soon or something like that. So that is where we will be putting a link for them to go and apply. Now, on the right brain side of things and the intuitive, heart-centered stuff, this library manager is going to be very impactful on what comes next. We so far, as an amazing team, have created this physical space for this to come together. And, you know, a book could be written about, a small book, about how all the magical things that have happened for this to be here as we have it today. And, and that includes people, you know, people that are here with us today on staff and volunteers, and also people who are not actually, they're in our community, but not on staff necessarily. So this library manager, when that person comes in, and we're getting the office ready for them already, we're starting to get that set up with the furniture and the phone and all of the things that that person's going to need. They are going to be the hub of everything that happens with the Tree of Life Sanctuary's Seekers Library. So, wow, you know, and Marcia's going to be coming up here next to talk about the Seekers Library, and there is a document that she has created that she'll share with everybody, and also for those of you online, I will make sure to email that to you later on today or tomorrow, whenever I get the recording of this Zoom meeting. I'll send this to you. And so the library manager will be partnering with Marcia, and Marcia will essentially be handing over the reins to her a bit at a time. It could be a him. This person, this soul, helping that person really successfully step into this role. And by the grand opening, which is going to be at the Fall Equinox Gathering on Saturday, September 20th, that person will be up front and center and happy about it. And everybody that is going to become a patron of this library will be thrilled with who this person ends up being. They're making their way to us as we make our way to opening the portal for them to come through. We will have an interview process, of course. We'll have at least 3 applicants that we'll interview and go from there. So any questions specifically about the library manager that I can answer before I turn it over to Marcia? Mm-hmm. Jesse?
I have more of like a thought than a question. Mm-hmm. So as the digital community manager, one of the things that I allocate my time to is reaching out to new groups on Facebook, so like Tarot groups or Tree of Life groups or library groups, and just connecting with the people there, like responding to their posts, not necessarily pushing our content onto them. And then once in a while, like adding little things in. So I've been doing that with the library manager position. But I just had a thought of like allocating a part of my time to actually going to local libraries and talking to the librarians and saying, do you guys have groups and support networks where you guys communicate?
Yeah.
Because we would love to be a part of those groups. And also if anybody is dissatisfied with their current position or just looking to grow into something different, like would you guys be interested in speaking with one of us or something? So I've been thinking about that, and if anyone else wants to partner with me on that, I'd be happy to.
Friends at the library.
Yeah.
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 That was wafting through my head as well.
Yeah.
Like connect with the libraries around to let them know that there's this opening here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's my one thought.
Yes. Perfect. Go for it.
Yahoo!
And I'd like to make a comment on something else you said.
Sure.
The book about this amazing manifestation. I really see a place for that.
Oh, okay.
Over time, as you know, the history of the library and how it's come to pass.
Yes.
You know, whether that becomes a physical book or you know, a
website or something,
an ebook that you can download from the site or something, because it is remarkable. It is a remarkable story, and will continue to unfold in a remarkable way.
Thank you. I agree with you.
And I know you have a passion for writing.
Oh yeah.
When you get time.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm no longer three hats
Or a dozen.
or more. Okay, so Marcia Hanson, please come on up. I'm going to step away. Watch out for
I like that idea.
the cords, Marcia.
Yeah, I will. Be careful not to trip. I'm gonna hand out some stuff on my way there, so.
Want me to do that?
Yeah, would you?
Does everybody get one of these?
Just one, yeah. I just made a lot of days. So.
Send them that one.
Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I made this form because there's a lot going on at the library. And for those of us who have been working, volunteering, and putting the library together with a great deal of love and dedication, I thought it would be nice to kind of share with you the process that we go through of how we get the books into our programs and into our, database and all of that kind of stuff. How we organize them, how we review them, all of the little intricacy things that go on. Now, this process will sound maybe kind of laborious, but it has been honed over several years. We tried doing it all at one time on each book, and that really failed miserably. So as I said, this is kind of what we've come up with for the current place we are right now. We are currently, our library sits, the database is an Excel database. We're going to be moving to new software. And when we move to that new software, all of this will more than likely change. But I wanted everybody to have an idea as to what's available for anybody who wants to come and have a lot of fun at the library workroom.
Chocolate supply.
Chocolate supply.
We do have, we have water, we have tea, we have everything that you can think of to come and be comfortable. We have special cups to use so that nothing happens to the books. And we just have a great time going through everything because there's really something special about these books. When you walk into the library workroom, you can't miss the energy because these books have all been given by people who love these books, even the ones that have never been cracked. And we get those once in a while where we're going, wow, brand new. Even those, the person who chose that book chose it for a reason. They were moved by something within them to try to read that book and maybe just never got a chance to get around to it. Or maybe it just didn't become part of their journey any longer because something shifted. But it doesn't change the fact that all the donors who have given their books have given them to us with love. And they love them. And then they are sharing their knowledge with us by donating these books. But we have a lot to get done. And so I want to give everybody a little understanding of what we're doing. I am asking for people to, if they can, to step forward and volunteer. Right now, we're only currently working Thursdays and Fridays. That may expand, but for now, that's what we're working, and it's from 12 to 6 normally on those 2 days. But we'll work with you. We'll work around your schedule. Whatever makes you happy will make us happy. Because we're ecstatic to have more hands, not only to experience what we're experiencing, but also so we can get the library to the next level. And just so you all know, the process right now is that the next phase will be what we're referring to as installation. The installation is where they will come in and they will put up all the bookcases and have everything in place. All the furniture will be here and so on. Once that's done, then we will be able to move the books over here. Once the books are over here, then the next step will be signage and shelving, which will be a big job. Currently, we have 3,400 books. So, and we're growing. We just got another donation yesterday. So that will be that phase, and once that phase is completed, then we will be doing all the work to get ready for the grand opening. And so that will be, practicing procedures and policies. By that time, my library manager should be here, and will be, involved in all of that. when that person walks in, we will have a frame, a skeleton, so to speak, for them to work with so that they don't have to feel completely overwhelmed by everything. And we'll be able to get by for a while and then can put their own stamp on it over time. So again, we would love to have you at the library. You know, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood when you're at the library. So thank you very much.
You said you're open 2 days now?
Well, the workroom is open from, not here, the workroom's down at the other end, and that's where we're open there from 12 to 6. Because we're still working on getting all of the books ready. Right now, all the books reside in boxes. And so when things come in, we have to get them into the system and get them ready, and then we have to file them within those boxes, alpha by author.
And what days did you say that was? Because I still have some things to donate.
Oh, okay. Thursday and Friday, and just, let me know. I can give you my cell phone, and you just give me a call, and we'll make arrangements. We'll meet you kind of thing. We'll bring carts out to help you with the books and all that kind of stuff.
Great.
So,
is there any precautions that are taken, like if the book has way too much energy, you put it in a lead container?
no, those are the ones we hug. Because, that's kind of, we figure if it's got that much mojo, we want some.
I know the high energy can happen that way.
Yeah. Oh, yes, most definitely.
Don't we have a Faraday cage in the library though?
I think the whole library is one.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marcia.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for your work, Marcia.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't forget the chocolate.
Definitely. All right. So, Paula, I don't expect you to come up unless you want to, but I want to at least allow you to stay there and talk from your chair, whatever you're comfortable with, but just speak to the need for volunteers and how they can connect with you.
Better pay close attention, Connie.
Well, there's also people virtually there.
Oh, that's right.
And this recording is going to be posted on YouTube at some point. So you're speaking to the whole world.
With the newsletter.
I actually wrote down a few notes
Yeah.
just before I left the house.
Good.
But anyways, as you all know, we're going to be opening up the library in September. And so as time comes between now and then, we're going to develop new needs for people to donate their times, for us. And it's really going to mean a lot. And so if you find that you have an interest in maybe finding out more about it and finding out what it is that we're going to need, that'd be great. One of the things that's really important to people that volunteer is that they feel like they're contributing something to our community. And everybody has special gifts and special talents. And everybody in this room, no two people are the same, and they all contribute something special because everybody's unique in their own way. So don't think that, I have to have this special skill or that one. We'll figure out what it is down the road. So anyways, we just, I filled out some forms out there. I put them out, if you're interested in maybe finding out more, maybe volunteering, and just kind of fill that out. And as it goes along, then we'll try to fit you in somewhere into something that you're interested in doing. And there'll be a lot of different things coming up.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody.
How do people get in touch with you digitally?
So I have a card.
They can just email you at the VPM address.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, at VPM at the treeoflifesanctuary.org. Yes, John.
Well, as long as we're recording this, you didn't talk about the benefit to the volunteer. And for everybody that volunteers, I know that they have a pass to be first in line to get to the higher realms. Because it's a service.
Yes.
Thank you, Paula knows about the higher realms.
Yes. Yes, she does.
And they all get to be part of this crazy group of people that have dreamed about this for a long time and finally made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add is we help each other too. The volunteers help each other.
Yeah.
So like in the library, you know, if there's a box that's too heavy, you know, we don't make one person move it, we move it together. And we have all kinds of tools that we have available to help move the boxes. And, you know, if you need to get up and take a walk for a while because you've been sitting so long, that's fine. You know, we leave it up to you to meet whatever your needs might be. And if you need us to assist you with anything, all of us work together as a team just to make that all happen. So, like I said, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, and the best place is the library. So,
Yeah.
And the library is you, and you are the library.
Yes.
And also Nick is part of the library. He's not here today, but he's also part of the library.
Yeah, we have a few volunteers that are not here today, physically or online.
Yeah.
So it's not just us right here now.
Yeah.
There's other people that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all cool people, so
Oh yeah.
lots of love.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah, you want
Thank you.
There,
Yeah.
you was volunteer, did you want to say something?
So just for clarity, the way to reach Paula to talk about volunteering, her email is vpm@treeoflifesanctuary.org, and VPM stands for Volunteer Program Manager. That'll help. Okay? All right. So next I would like to invite Lynn Brisden to come up. She's one of our trusted resources coach. She is the coach for our group program, Your Path, Your Spiritual Satisfaction. And that's starting up round 6 in the fall. So I just thought you might want to come up and let people know about that a little bit.
Thanks, Laura. And it's really been a gift to lead the Your Path, Your Spiritual Satisfaction twice now. And a few years back when we did the first one, Laura and I had been connected through the coaching community, and she just happened to be sharing in a meeting one day that she was looking for somebody to partner in delivering the program. And I thought,
Such a coincidence.
I'm a coach. I've also done some certification in spiritual teaching. I think I could do that. And I'm so glad that I did, because what I've been able to witness through the delivery of the program is seeing people who decide that improving their spiritual satisfaction would be beneficial, really do so. In the 18 plus, I think it's about 20 months altogether now, yes, with 19 units of study, two sessions per month online. We take, it's kind of an introduction to a wide range of spiritual topics so that you can really explore different ways to build out your own practice and increase your spiritual satisfaction. And what I've witnessed is seeing people at different levels coming in, people who are kind of new to this idea of spirituality, all the way up to people who've been doing this for years and just want to keep that as a main focus in their lives. All come through having developed further in their own growth and on their path. And so I've been very, very grateful to be able to be part of that and to witness that. And I do want to say I was pretty excited to be able to wrap up the last one. We held the graduation, well, not in this room, but in one of the Tree of Life Sanctuary's spaces in person. And afterwards, got to tour the library room. And I just wanted to verify that there's a delightful energy that Marcia and Jan and crew have really generated there with something that's been sort of going on in the background while we've been manifesting this. but to really see it up front and, witness it personally, I was, there was much more to this than I anticipated. So, so if you're at all curious about how you might elevate your own satisfaction on your spiritual path, this is something that you may want to consider. And we'll be, I guess, announcing dates when we do the grand opening in the fall.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. At the equinox.
Yes.
Yeah. Yahoo! John?
I took that first one that you led, I believe, and I didn't know what to expect, but one of the things that you said about focus, I think at some point in everyone's life, you might not find religion, but you do need to find a way to expand consciousness and get heart-centered. And there's a whole bunch of skills and information, and most importantly, support by taking this group to help you stay focused or to help you take it to another level and see if that will help to heal you emotionally or physically or expand you spiritually. And I was really surprised how beneficial the program can be and was for me. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think one of the things I also wanted to share was that it really is very open in terms of what other practices, beliefs, lineages you'd adhere to coming into the program. It doesn't ask that you follow a specific pathway, only that you really look at how you define spirituality for yourself and in support in growing in that aspect of your life. Yeah.
Way cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the spirituals, Your Path, Your Spiritual Satisfaction program is another way for the Tree of Life Sanctuary to support people in just whatever a person needs. There's no definition about how it has to look. What that program is all about is just helping that person get in touch with who they are uniquely, authentically, and to have fun with it. And while it's a multiple month program, almost 20 months, it's hard to retain that in my head, but it starts with a great orientation and then, of course, a graduation at the end. And you're supported all those months with this cool group of people you become very close to and good friends with. And just like when we send energy to the blossoming vision bow at noon every day, it's the same kind of thing. All those people in your group are wanting the best for you too. So it's just such a cool experience. So thank you. So that's all the info. Does anybody in our virtual audience have any questions or anything they want to comment on before we do the raffle drawing? Everybody's quiet?
We're all good.
Okay. All
I
right.
have a question.
Yes, Connie.
So are you, I know that, Lynn has a program that she offers and probably you too.
Mhm.
Are you bringing people in to do trainings here? I mean, are you going to be using the space?
Good
for things
question.
like that?
Good question. Yes, we have lots of ideas and plans to allow for that. We have 3 pillars of service in the Tree of Life Sanctuary. One is the Seeker's Library. The other is our online school. Thank you. And that we haven't developed completely to the level that it's going to. It is currently exists with a bunch of free information, free short classes in it. And then we have our trusted resources who are coaches and ministers and supportive people that are available that we have known for a while, and we know that they're good at what they do. coaches helping so people can work with somebody one-on-one if they want. As far as other things happening, like in the library, like in this room, classes in this room, we already are offering that. Paula is offering meditation on Monday nights. We are open to other people who might want to do a class ongoing or one time, both ways. We have space use that we can offer. We have, it's a contract agreement. So yes, is the bottom line.
Are you reaching out to people to do that? That might be interested? I mean, is there someone who does that?
Not yet. Not yet. We have a 5-year mission that we're working on. And right now we're in year 2 to 3. And the Seekers Library is our goal to have that up and operating by the end of this year. And once that's done, then we will be more focused in the 2026 on building the online school and refining the operation of the Seekers Library. So there will also be more in-person classes at that time too. In the meantime though, if anybody wants, that you know of anybody that wants to present a class, just have them email me, president@treeoflifesanctuary.org. And I'd be happy to work with them to have them be able to use our space.
John has had classes here. Yeah, you're here. But
yeah, we've been having some people use the space, yes. Yeah.
It would be nice, I think, to have this as kind of a resource for all kinds of spiritual.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Spiritual things.
Just so long as we agree with them.
We've had the Baha'i Faith, for example, express interest in having meetings here. So the bottom line is yes.
Yeah.
So we're getting there to be able to create the structure to manage that properly. In the meantime, have them come to me.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so just a little review of upcoming events. Again, the Seekers Library grand opening we're actually going to have a week-long opening. But the first day of opening will be Saturday, September 20th, and it starts at 1 p.m., 1 to 3. We'll have a fall equinox gathering like this one. And hopefully we'll be able to fit everybody because there'll be a lot more people coming in person that are local. And maybe even people from a distance that will want to come and be here in person, like our library consultant, Erin McCusker.
Yeah, she won't be able to be here.
Oh, she won't be able to be here.
No, but she will be here for shelving the books.
She will be here volunteering, shelving for books. That's awesome. Excellent. I was hoping she could be here to meet, or we could introduce her, but that's okay.
No, she's going off on a goddess excursion.
Okay.
She's visiting all the goddess sites around the world.
Oh, good for her.
Will there be an opportunity to meet with her in person while she's here?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool.
When she is here helping shelve books, we will arrange a meeting with her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
And what happens the rest of the week is really up to the library manager and the library work team.
Yeah.
So more to follow on that.
Yeah.
The next quarterly gathering after that is, of course, the Winter Solstice gathering, and that is set for Saturday, December 20th from 11 to 1. We start earlier so that Laura can get home before dark. Yeah. So stay in touch with us if you're not already on our, subscribe to our e-zine. You can do that online on our website. We also have, of course, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube platforms going on. So you can just follow us on those. They're pretty easy to find. If you have any trouble, let us know. Do you want to say anything about that, Jesse?
Not particularly. We post, me and my kind of social media partner Jordan on our team, on our social media team. We post lots on both platforms, different content all the time. So there's something for everybody, and I'm sure as soon as the library is open, we're going to be doing a lot more video content and YouTube content. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Or was that rumor true that you wanted to do some interpretive dance on TikTok?
That I'd like to see. You're leading it, right, Sean?
I'm sure you would.
You'll be in the background playing the cymbals.
Something like playing the cowbell.
Yeah. Well, TikTok, that's a platform we're not on at this point in time. I'm leaving that up to the social media team. I honestly, whatever. I let go ye forth, right? So, any last wrap-up questions, comments?
I think it would just be nice to maybe have some silent prayer for this whole organization and what you're doing.
That's awesome. Let's take a moment to do that.
A blessing.
That's awesome. Thank you. Let's do that. So let's just take a moment of quiet. I just got a piece of guidance to also share that after the library manager is hired, we will be contracting with another person called a resource development manager. And that person's responsibility will be to bring in funds, grants, donations, corporate sponsorship for the Tree of Life Sanctuary.
Nice.
We are a 501c3, not-for-profit organization, so everything qualifies as tax deductible, any funds that are given to us, and we qualify for grants, all kinds of things in that realm. And that person will be the portal for abundance for the Tree of Life Sanctuary. So you'll hear more about that person too. They will be also in place at the grand opening. Yes, by August 1st. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Until we meet again, adios. Hasta la vista. Yeah. Great gathering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to those of you who are joined us online. We look forward to having you with us again.
So when you're ready to donate,
Live long and prosper.
Yes.